Hello, and hang on. My voice was like.
Well, that's how
happening.
we're beginning. So this week on the
Hello, and welcome to the LampPod. It's me, Sam, and you.
Neil. Hello.
And this week it's the 49th. I forgot to check.
I believe so. It's 49th. And
Perfect, almost at 50.
49th and penultimate episode of WandaVision. So next week will be the big 5-0.
I can't
and
believe it.
WandaVision ends. And also,
it'll also be my birthday.
Oh damn, yeah! And also, I handed my dissertation that day.
Oh my god!
So all the big things.
Holy shit, balls.
We'll maybe do something celebratory.
So come back next week. Don't know what's happening this week.
Yeah, this week we've written off. I know what's happening this week. This week was a bloody good day. It was this day that we're recording this on. We're recording this on Friday the 26th. And it's been a bloody lovely day. It's been sunny.
Oh, yeah.
I did like a 10-mile bike ride. It's been great.
Shit.
I've had a great day.
Damn. I have been in a building selling paint.
Well, I've had a great day. Enough of you.
Enough of my miserable existence. How's your life?
But yeah, WandaVision. Some big reveals last week.
Agnes is Agatha Hargreaves Lansdowne.
It was Agatha all along.
Everyone's been saying it's a bop.
It's an absolute bop.
I agree.
It slaps so hard.
When are they going to play that on Radio 1?
I genuinely come June 21st or whatever, when all the pubs and clubs reopen, every night, baby. That's what I want.
Get
I
that
want
on
Agatha all along
clubs.
on repeat.
Number one club tune, club bangers.
Big club banger. But yeah, I'm really excited for this week.
Yes. Every week I sort of forget to think about this, which I think is good because it sort of sneaks up on me, and I'm like, oh yeah, WandaVision, awesome, here we go, which is good because I think otherwise I'd be thinking about it all week, stewing on it, and it would just completely slow the week down. But it just sort of sneaks up.
Yeah, I'm always oh shit, yeah, that's today. I've got quite a good TV routine going on at the moment, so. My Thursdays are dedicated to Riverdale.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, me and my housemate Jordan from the After Dark podcast. That's a thing. Is it though? Is it a thing? Is it? We wake up early and watch that, and then Fridays I wait all day and ignore my phone essentially to.
Oh god, yeah.
To avoid spoilers. Which I figured out, if we keep this going, I'm going to have to do for literally everything.
Every week for the rest of the year.
Because it literally is the rest of the year. I know you put that, you sent me a predicted release dates for all the TV shows, but and it was only a prediction, but it's looking more and more realistic.
Yeah, does that hold up? Because Loki was announced for June.
Oh,
I think.
I haven't actually cross-checked it with Loki, and it didn't have No Way Home, which is.
Oh, of course, yeah, that's a thing that also got announced this week. This is turning into a classic old LampPod. We're now just talking about
the news of the
Marvel
week.
News again.
Yeah, because there's so much of it.
Yeah, that's insane, and also, but then because that post was about Marvel stuff, but then we've got Bad Batch coming out on May 4th weekly.
Yep.
And there's gonna be is there gonna be multiple things in 1 week at some point?
Probably.
I don't really know what's happening.
Most likely, right? I feel like it won't be we'll get two shows start at the same time, but there'll probably be some overlap.
Yeah, they'll start crossing over mid-season,
and then they'll start crossing over within the show.
Across the Disney Plus
It
verse.
was Agatha all along. Sidious takes off a ugly rubber melted man mask, and it's her underneath.
It was Agatha. And then she was also Vader. She threw him off. She threw herself off of the balcony.
That shot from Empire where he cuts off the Vader head in the cave. It's just Agatha.
That was Agatha's.
She winks
head.
at the camera. It's a big tune. All right, so predictions for this week.
Yes. So a big theory going around online that the book that we see at the end of the last episode is like the missing book in Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So theory would be they sort of confirm that. Like,
Ooh,
I
okay.
stole a book. Like, is she from Camartage and then she stole the book?
I hadn't seen. Well, doesn't thingies? I was about to say Cal Kestis. Whatever his name was. Bloody. You know, the bad guy. The bad guy in that movie. Doesn't he steal the book?
Oh!
Right?
Caecilius.
Caecilius.
Yeah, remember that guy?
Cal Kestis.
How silliest of you.
He steals the book, doesn't he, at the very beginning?
He steals a book, but there are like other gaps, I think, in the like, because it's the bookshelf with like the chains on it.
Yeah.
So it's like the books that you can't use without special permission, and obviously, no, he puts the book back. That book, they only steal a page out of, because if you remember, Doctor Strange gets the book and then reverses.
Oh yes,
the other
yes,
page
of
back
course,
into
yes,
existence.
of course. But yeah, there were definitely like unchained parts of that set, like, right?
Now, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, in like season 4, they introduced a magic book, and of course the same theory came up then of like, oh, it could be the missing space, like that's that book. So it's funny to me that like that same scene / shot has been used twice now for fan theories about magical books.
They just
every time a
article.
book shows up in the MCU, they'll just be like, it's from that shelf.
they repost the article but change the like JPEG, and they're just like, it's this time.
It's like word for word exactly the same article, because what else would you need to say, really? The book's missing and there's a book.
That's cool. And that's I can buy that, and it would feed into the sort of the hope of Strange rocking up.
Now, would that be another way of showing him as in a flashback, or even Benedict Wong as the librarian? Oh wait, no, the librarian gets killed at the start of Doctor Strange, and then Wong steps up. So maybe, depending on the timeline, it could be
the old one who
librarian.
loses his head.
Yeah, gets fucking beheaded. Beheaded. He
gets deheaded
right at the start of the movie.
He gets unheaded.
Deheaded.
So and that cool. Fine. Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm not like, I have no like emotional tie to Comatage and stuff like that. But I feel like Comatage is definitely the least connected part of sort of the MCU. Like one of them at least.
There's no sort of strings to it, because
like I suppose the only kind of string to Strange is the Ancient One showing up in Endgame. But apart from that, it's kind of like its own thing.
I mean, you see like the New York Sanctum, but even that's like you got to go through a door to get to the Camartage. So like, we haven't really seen it apart from in its own movie. So it would be interesting to see it again.
And also, I mean, if Scarlet Witch is gonna be in Multiverse of Madness and be a kind of main player in that works. That seems like a viable reason.
Start feeding it back in now, and then so it's not as like, oh, what's this when we get there.
Did you see that the advert for the advert from last week, the Nexus?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen what Nexus is in the comics?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So the Nexus is I saw this maybe the day or two after I watched the episodes and haven't really deep dived into it. But the Nexus is technically what Wanda is. So a Nexus is someone who can, or like a being that can jump between multiverse.
Okay.
And take energy from multiverses and stuff. So that's
what they're going for.
So yeah,
I was like, it's the internet thing from Age of Ultron.
I liked that. Like, and I feel like, because we said it last week, and we'll say it until we die. Like, we don't read comics. Not regularly anyway.
No.
Read a handful of them and kind of move on with our lives. But
Yeah.
like all signs to an uneducated MCU fan would have said, yeah, it was that thing.
Yeah.
Like even
The
I
one
was like,
instance of,
oh,
like,
that's
Nexus,
called the
yeah.
Nexus. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of, I was kind of like, but why? Like,
Yeah,
I
it
couldn't
makes a lot
put
more
two and two
sense than-
together as to why it would
Yeah.
be that.
Mm.
But yeah, apparently that's what it is. So,
Interesting. Okay.
and it's
That could
a
tie
depression
in, I
pill
suppose.
apparently.
We got yeah, and it could give you more depression. We should probably wrap this up and get into the episode soon.
Yeah. Theory for this week. Any idea what's happening?
I genuinely don't know if Quicksilver is going to be on Monica's team or Agnes's team. I don't know if he's being controlled or if he has free will and he's like, was he sneaking up on Monica or is he with her? I don't know.
Well, he said
what his dynamic is
Snooper's. He said Snooper's gonna snoop, which to me sort of says he's probably Agnes's team and he's kind
I
of
caught you red-handed.
security, like for her.
And then part of me is like, he's just that kind of casual guy where he's like, oh, you snooping? Like, what's
hey.
going on? Like,
What
he
you
just
s-
like rocks
what you
up with his
snooping
hoodie,
for?
like, why are you snooping?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, it could go either way. Like, I feel like they definitely left it with that kind of cliffhanger that you're like, who is he? Is he
what's
good, bad? I don't know.
Mm.
I've got a kind of educated theory about a prediction, I guess, about this week, because
Okay.
every week we watch this together on Disney Plus, and I always send you the link. But to send you the link to do the group
You have
watch,
to see the.
I have to see the
yeah.
title, like unless
Mhm.
I'm very clever with my clicking. But this week's episode is called Previously On.
Right.
So I kind of think maybe this will be like the classic clip show, where they sort of go back and revisit things.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in two minds about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but like in pretty much every sitcom they do like a remember that time and they do it in Community with the
Yeah.
they do it in
Yeah, the
Community.
like bottle episode or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The cutaway gags, like that kind of thing. It's sort of a Family Guy-esque scenario. where it's
So
like every joke is a cutaway.
I'm sort of thinking, will they do like a spin on that? So it's like they have to revisit stuff from the past to learn some things, or are we going to see different angles of scenes we've seen before with like Agatha pulling
maybe.
strings and doing
That would make
puppetry or
sense.
something?
Yeah, she sort of walks you through exactly what she's done. But then I suppose the song kind of did that. The music video, opening titles.
This is all purely based on Previously On. Like,
Yeah, that's fair enough. Potential idea. We will. Actually, I'm not going to say it because I sort of have reasons to believe that it might happen, so I'm not going to bring it up.
okay, we'll bring it up after. I will.
It would
try
be
and
unfair
remember
for me to bring it up
in case
I've
it
got some
spoils
prior
it for
sort of-
me.
Yeah. So I'll sort of leave that on for you. My dumb idea that I messaged you about earlier.
Oh
My
yes.
final thought before we cut away. My dumb idea of how she's going to get her name, because obviously they set up in a previous episode that she doesn't have a superhero name. And I said last week that maybe like Agatha is like the Violet Witch. So she's like, well, I'm the Scarlet Witch or whatever. I was thinking the other day, like, what if as like Scarlet Witch has got her on the ropes, she's like about to win against Agnes. And Agnes is like, oh, you Scarlet Bitch. She's like, no, I'm a Scarlet Witch.
I like the line Scarlet Bitch. I don't think it will be followed by no. I am
the Scarlet Witch.
I love it. I hope it happens. But I don't
It would be
believe it.
so shit. But I would be very happy.
I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlet Bitch comes up at some point.
It's too easy.
It's so easy.
In the like,
but it would suit this.
especially like Agnes's character.
Like
Just
had they
kind
have
of-
gone like instead of WandaVision, like Scarlet Vision. That could have been a joke within the first 2 episodes type thing.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Scarlet Bitch within the next 2 episodes. Kind of hope we do.
Yeah, fuck it, that'd be incredible.
You
heard it here first.
Final thing before we go, advert. Any wild accusations, or are you just gonna say Vision toothpaste?
If anything, Vision toothpaste. But my theory for this week would be either. I think we've now dropped the TV scenarios. That's my final theory. Is that I think now we basically did the 2000s, so like we don't need to do it anymore. Okay. I think this episode she's like down in the ditch with the witch, and it's just gonna be pure MCU stuff.
Okay.
So no advert, or the people that are in all those adverts will see them in some other capacity. They'll come into the fold.
Yeah, I dig that. I think if I'm kind of with you there. I think if there is an advert and everything we've said so far has been true, it might be like a Comatage tie-in. Something Comatage-y. Is all my...
That'll be cool.
That's my prediction.
Sweet. There we go.
Let's do it.
Okay. We're going to watch the episode, and I'm going to do a swooshy hand movement because Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet
Here we go. Scarlet Bitch. We're going to watch the episode, and we're back from watching the episode.
Oh my good golly gosh. That was amazing.
Goodness me.
Good golly gosh. That was like quite easily my favorite so far, right? I'd probably say without much question.
I'm really fond of like here's what happened in the previous 3 episodes through the eyes of like Sword. Like I'm really fond of that episode. But I really enjoyed this, like, because it only took 6 years, but we finally got some kind of backstory for like Scarlet Witch. Like we've now seen her origin. She didn't just sort of appear in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, there's like, I know we get the backstory in Age of Ultron, but there's actual footage of like who she was before, and we have an actual origin story for this lovely woman. She's great. She is so good. Like,
what a talent! Like, it's fucking amazing. Like, there were genuinely, I don't know if we ever will use the footage from these watch-alongs, but there were a couple of moments where, like, during the episode where I like look up at the camera and I can feel myself like welling up, and I'm like, don't do it on camera, Sam.
Oh no. Yeah, that whole sequence post Age of Ultron, pre-Civil War, where you can tell that Vision and her are like friends, and they've made some sort of connection, and we finally get a bit of actual friendship. Like, never had that before, and I feel like that is kind of an issue on the MCU's part, the fact that like Wanda and Vision have got together, but like it's all the majority of that is done off screen.
Yeah. 100%.
We never get.
They sort of hint at it with Age of Ultron, and Civil War. It's like, ooh.
So like we never actually get the full blown, like, I don't know, like the Scarlett Johansson and Mark Ruffalo stuff where they actually have some chemistry building throughout Age of Ultron. It just kind of comes out of nowhere if you don't know the comics.
Yeah. I think, and that's definitely the biggest downside of like the film medium, I guess. Whereas like now they can make TV shows of like film caliber quality. It's almost like, what's the point? Like in a movie, if you can get this sort of under the microscope with characters and make it look this good, like those big movies, they just need to have like the big budget spectacle, whereas this, you can like we can actually take a step back and look at Wanda and like look at the trauma she's been going through. They never would have like dealt with it that way in a movie because there's just not enough time.
And that's what they're doing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? I think Kevin Feige came out and said that it's a 6-part movie essentially.
Ah, right, yeah.
So like,
which is that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
What a world we live in. Like, cool. Great to be able to go and see like the occasional film in the big cinemas and stuff. But I mean, I'm pretty chill watching it at home with you, and like that's fine.
A lovely audience.
Yeah, and if it ever comes out, the lovely audience.
Yeah, I mean it's just cool because like it just means that like these things don't sort of just happen and then fade away. This is a 8-week event or 7-week or however many weeks this thing is long.
9, I believe.
9. So you can talk about this for 9 weeks and like it keep being relevant. Whereas like you see a movie and it just sort of it ends and like you'll talk about it for a few weeks and like obviously it'll come up again in conversation, but like it happened weeks ago at that point. Whereas this is like fresh every week, something new going on. And now this week, we're all going to talk about like, oh man, there's heartbreaking scenes like with Wanda and Vision. Vision's like trying to console her, but like Vision at this point has no worldly experience at all, and it's pure and also devastating at the same time.
It takes me back to like week 1 of this show, and I know a handful of people, and like I was kind of close because I've always said after Endgame, and then I realized that Far From Home was the end of that sort of phase, as they used to be called. I was like, well, I'm probably going to get off after that because that's like me. I've put my investment in. But I'm like fully back in, and I the first couple of weeks of this show, I was like, yeah, it's fine, like it's cool, whatever. But I'm not hooked, so I like if I fall off, that's fine. But damn, now I'm fully invested, and I'm glad I gave it the chance. And I think if anyone knows someone who hasn't given it the chance because they were like, I think tell them to binge it because like they'll probably get what they wanted from a binge rather than
just hold off one more week and then boom, like you can just do the whole thing.
Like I know that it wasn't Marvel's plan because obviously they wanted to bring out Falcon and the Winter Soldier beforehand. That was the original release roster, but like they took a massive risk releasing this first, and I think it totally paid off. I think I'm fully trusting still of Marvel to be able to produce great stuff, and
which is like I totally understand like the business decision as well, like of Falcon Winter Soldier is the one we debuted with. It's a movie, which is what everyone's become used to, but we've now spread it over 6 weeks.
Fan favorites. It's like it's basically a spy thriller. Like it's a very
easy way to get in. Like you're sort of not to say lowering the bar, but like you're. It's a very smooth transition from a movie to a TV show. You just make a movie into a TV show.
Yeah,
but I'm so glad it happened this way because you get this like weird meta TV show about TV that puts the spotlight on like characters that really haven't had it. Like I think maybe you could Bucky and Falcon probably have had more attention than Wanda and Vision have, I would say, in the movies.
Yeah, I think
nice
if you were listing off character names, you'd absolutely name Bucky and Falcon before you remembered Wanda.
Because they are the sidekicks to a leading character, whereas Wanda was like, she was kind of a villain in her first movie, and then she was there, and Vision was also introduced in that movie. Oh, we're gonna use him in the other ones because he's there now. Like, you know, they're there for some reason. Oh, he's got a Mind Stone. Oh, and he's dead. And like that's it. You know what I mean? And Wanda's the one that killed him because she's the only one that could because lore.
It's an underselling of what happened, but whatever that quote is from episode 4 or whatever.
Yes, it's just awesome, man. Like, I think it is literally those few scenes of just like the pure emotion and sadness and grief that she's going through. Like, you couldn't do that anywhere else. Like, it has to be TV because there's no time in a movie. And I'm so glad they're doing this because, fucking hell, it was like some good scenes. Like, really, it was kind of like about depression and stuff, and like she's feeling this sadness and things just keep going wrong and she doesn't know why, she can't do anything about it, and man, they handled it well.
Like, it's always been something that it would never annoy me when I'd be watching an MCU movie. I'd never be watching an MCU movie and being like, oh man, but what about Pietro, and what about her dead parents, and what about like that was never the case. Like, even in Endgame, like, she shows up and she's like, you took everything from me, and like, he's like, I don't even know who you are, and I'm like, yeah, what happened to you? What's going on? But when I watch those individual moments and those individual scenes, and like anytime I watch Age of Ultron, which I do more than I care to admit, like that's probably like my second or third most watched MCU movie. It's ridiculous. I'm always like, oh shit, yeah, she loses a sibling, and it's kind of just like swept under a rug. Which never annoys me when I get round to watching Civil War. I'm never like, oh, but what about that? Because she's then got her new stakes in this, and like, I just presume there's been character development, but I'm glad we're getting answers to that, because I'm like, oh yeah, there's a thing that bugs me whenever I watch that specific moment happen. I'm always like, I wish there was more of that.
You even had you had like a reaction as well when like she's talking about like all this shit keeps going wrong, and like that scene is seemingly before Civil War, and you're just like, fuck it out, she just cannot like catch a break.
Yeah, she's lived such a shit life.
But that's never been dealt with in the movies.
No,
like, you never really see that.
Like even her happiest moment on screen, which is her and Vision in Edinburgh, and they're making love, and he's like, oh, all I feel is you, and all this shit is immediately interrupted by a sign that says, we will deep fry your kebab. No, by a sign that says by someone stabbing fucking Vision straight through the chest, and that's just them like out on like having a break. Like, she can literally not catch a break.
Oh god, please, can this show end and she's sipping tea on a beach? Like, just let her be chill.
Let her cut to like the end of the first Avengers movie. Cut to her in like a shawarma restaurant, covering the beard she's been growing since production ended, eating a deep fried kebab. Like, just
they filmed it after.
Give her that clarity and fulfillment. Come on, I believe in you, finally.
Well, maybe we'll get to see her have that happy ending, possibly, because there is a pale Vision.
We get the
grey
Vision, which is which was a thing. It's a thing from the comics that I only know about because when Thanos like tore his head open, everyone was like, "Oh, it's Grey Vision! It's a reference to Grey Vision." And I was like, "Is it? No, it's just kind of dead Vision to me." But now this is no, that was not a thing. This is the thing. So again, they can just re-upload, change the JPEG, but re-upload that article saying this is Grey Vision.
Yeah. So, well, I can't remember where I was going with this. Grey Vision. Is it?
He is.
Oh, that was it. So, in the comics, as far as I'm aware, Grey Vision came before normal Vision.
Ooh.
Or what would we... I guess at the time it was Vision and colourful Vision, but now it's Vision and Grey Vision. But as far as I'm aware, I think when Ultron so Hank Pym makes Ultron makes Vision, and I think he comes out, he's all pale and all that stuff. And I think he's made from the
Adamantium?
the Human Torch, the original Human Torch, the like robotic Human Torch for the 1940s.
The one whose costume is in Captain America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever that guy's called. I don't think he's like, it says the Human Torch in that movie, but it says something like the Synthetic Man or something like that.
It's J0 Knee Storm. And
perfect.
We did it.
But yeah, so Ultron finds that old body and then he makes Vision out of it. It's all very convoluted comic book lore that lasts millions of years. But yeah, so they're sort of doing an inverse of it now. So I guess we now have Grey Vision, and he has like Y fronts, like superhero Y fronts.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. There was definitely more like lines to him than on the original Vision. Unless it is just in like black and white, it does look like they may have always been there, but I definitely don't remember them.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing them. I feel like it would have been pointed out somewhere. Some like top 10 things.
I think that's the that sword putting him back together and covering up the scene.
Yeah, oh, right.
Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe that's what that is.
Yeah, because he says as well, like, he's made of $3 billion worth of vibranium. So it's possible that, I mean, if the vibranium's broken and they can't use it, they're just going to have to patch him up with, like, regular material. Yes. You know?
Sword will put him all back together again. Like Humpty Dumpty.
So, where are they going with that? So he's been brought back to life using energy that they got from the drone that Wanda had or whatever.
Yeah.
What's he going to be doing in the next episode? We've got one more episode.
He's got to be an evil, right?
You think so?
Okay, so my initial theory, which I don't think I've said on here, like obviously I've said that I thought Hayward was possibly big bad, and now Agatha has kind of taken that over. But so my sort of analogy for what I thought Hayward was so in the first Avengers, the Avengers Assemble as it was called in the UK, we get the big bad is Loki. Mm-hmm. The Avengers are fighting Loki, but then the subsequent minor threat is the nuke that's coming in to bomb New York. So that's
and then use the minor threat to beat the
so you've got the Avengers fighting Loki, bang 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 bang, but then there's another threat which creates a time pressure. And I thought that was what Hayward was going to be. I thought it was going to be like you have to defeat Agnes and Mephisto or whatever before Hayward like nukes Westview or something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But now it's looking like instead of Hayward wanting to bomb Westview, he wants to send Grey Vision in.
Mm-hmm.
But he said to the rest of the gang, to like Monica and everyone, that she stole Vision, right? She said she's So he's a bit sussy boy.
But what's going on there? That's so interesting. So the scene where Vision crawls out of the reality and starts being torn apart, he would be looking at that. It'd be interesting to watch that scene again because he would obviously know that isn't the body of Vision, which is why when I guess like Kat Dennings is like help him, like they don't, because that's not Vision, that's not Vibranium Man, that's some guy of nothingness.
That's Wanda's imaginary friend. That's Harvey the bunny rabbit that Wanda has fucking made out of herself. That's a very old reference to a very old movie, but
I'm very confused, but don't worry about it.
There's a movie called Harvey in which a dude has an imaginary friend who's a giant bunny rabbit, and it's black and white and it's fine. But it would be cool to see like how he is actually reacting to that, like essentially brand new information to him.
Well, so it's interesting then, because there's also the question of, like, what is the objective here? Because if he wants Vision to be, like, this artificially intelligent weapon, what's he got to do with Wanda? What's his interest? Because the assumed interest was... I've just realised as well, they were tracking Vision's movements because of decaying vibranium. But he's not decaying because he's not real. Remember that in the previous episode? Or in one of the previous episodes?
There's a big plot hole.
Is it a plot hole, though?
I don't know.
I
have no clue.
Wait, so what if... Okay. What if she has actually conjured up, using hex magic... She's conjured up a new Vision. So there's actually two Visions.
My favourite thing about when I'm talking to you, Sam, is when you like subconsciously occasionally go into David Tennant Doctor Who mode. It's all in the forehead and temple. I love it. you go, and I'm like, Sam's gone. He's in his own head for a little bit. I'll just entertain the audience. Yeah, no, that's a very good point, because yeah, like from what we can tell in that episode, also that shot was in like one of the earliest trailers, and everyone just ignored it. Yeah, where she's like fully leaning back, and I feel like if you go back and watch it, maybe Vision is there as well, and they haven't like painted him out. Because he was like a yellow outline, right? Like
yeah.
I felt like they were both like doing their best Keanu Reeves Neo impression. But yeah, that is like, has she made a double? And if she
presumably made of vibranium, if they could confirm that
they can tracking vibranium. Yeah. So if she was to, instead of focusing all of her attention on the hex, if she just focused her attention on Vision, could she
keep him alive?
Yeah. Essentially, like, for lack of another way to describe it, like essentially creating the snow cloud that keeps Olaf alive at the end of Frozen. Like she just creates like a bubble around him of the hex, so he can just walk around and do what he wants. But then what happens to Grey Vision? Are we going to get like a end of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Scott versus Nega Scott, and and they're just going to arrange to go for a coffee, and Grey Vision's going to walk off?
Is Paul Bettany, does he have the best MCU career ever? He started off as a voiceover artist, then became one character, and is now going to be two separate characters.
Be the big bad.
The big bad and the big good.
Okay, so there's one thing that's I've got a there's two things. There's an interview with Paul Bettany in which he says that during the process of WandaVision, he got to work with an actor who he's wanted to work for a very long time.
Right. Okay, go on.
Himself. No.
Himself.
So, like, a part of me is like, there's gotta be another big cameo. Because at the moment, the only person who I can kind of think, like, if he wanted to work with someone, like, and hasn't had the chance to, Evan Peters, maybe? Unless...
Like, it can be, right?
But
it's too
because
young.
if it was whoever's playing Agatha Harkness, he would have just said, "Oh, and we get to work with whatever that actress's name is," and that's cool. Like, because she was in all the promotional stuff, so like it wouldn't have been a So I feel like there's gotta be another cameo coming.
Fuck.
And I don't know who.
It's got Benny Cumberbund, right?
Yeah, but he would have worked with him in Infinity War and
were they ever in the same room though? Oh, you're right though. Oh, fuck. I hadn't considered that. Maybe, but they never crossed paths in the movie.
Yeah,
therefore,
true.
Would they have?
I'm kind of losing faith in the the Doctor Strange cameo.
Yes, because we start in the Salem.
Yeah, the Salem
the
Witch
place
trials. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, Salem, Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Wow, if any one of the 18 people who listen to this are from we've lost them. They've already turned off. Fuck.
But yes, she's there. There are witches there, and yeah, so it's a very witch thing as opposed to a sorcerer thing, which is interesting.
What does she refer to? So at the very end, she refers to Wanda. We got a name drop. We got the Scarlet Witch.
Did we? Yes.
So, but she says, like, you're a cursed. What's she said to her? I'm trying to load it.
Something like,
it's not loading.
She's almost saying like you're the chosen one, like you're the one that the legends told of. You're the Scarlet Witch, something like that. You can create things out of nothing. You have hex magic, which is part to do with
chaos magic.
Oh no, chaos magic. You're right. Sorry, chaos magic.
Chaos
which is also
magic.
From comics, I believe.
That was the word I was
reality
trying
bending
to.
Stuff. Yeah, it's kind of. I don't want to say it's a retcon, but it is like adding stuff to it. Like, oh, maybe the stone didn't quite give her powers, or it was there laying dormant, and then the stone activated her latent.
Yeah,
witchy
because
powers.
Agatha's trying to ask, like, what made you like stop the bomb, stop the missile? She's like, no, it was just dormant and we didn't know.
Yeah,
but it's like, well, but
she's
was
like,
it?
You were well protected. Like,
yeah, so it's
yeah.
It could be either way. Like, it could be a sort of like a Dark Phoenix type thing. Like, yes, she was given the power by the space thing, but it was in her all along, based on fucking Apocalypse and oh my god, why are we talking about this? Scratch that. Cut that out. I don't want to. We're not bringing that shit up.
Speaking of cutting out, I think I need to delete some files on my phone, so we might have to do another transition, and we'll come back to this conversation if you don't mind, Neil.
Ah, you son of a bitch. Yeah, that's fine.
I needed to clear my phone. I guess I didn't, so we'll be back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Yes, Agnes. Turns out she isn't doing it. That was like the big thing. We assumed it was her. And so that was the reveal.
It's almost confirming the shark. Young Magic, that thing, because at the very beginning in the Salem Witch Trials thing, she fed on. They all beamed their magic and then they got drained, so she fed on their magic, I guess.
Okay.
So I presume she's gone into the hex and worked her way into Wanda's bullshit reality.
Oh, and like feeding off of it
to try and find a new host. Because, so another thing that backs that up for me is we were saying that the actress, who I should really look up the name of, looked very young and almost sort of like photoshopped, like airbrushed in the Salem stuff. But then in the more modern day stuff, she's got a few more wrinkles here and there, and then so like is she has it been a while since she has fed? Is she looking for?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean? Like she looks a little bit older, so maybe she's looking for
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the implication from the episode, I mean, she's clearly trying to figure out how Wanda did it, right? Doesn't it? Maybe she is also trying to feed off of her, but because she talks about how like like creation and stuff, because she gets a bug and she does a little spell and turns it into a bird, and she's basically saying that was like quite a complicated maneuver to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you look at Wanda and she's turned an entire city into like different things, and like so it is literally like, if she is trying to feed off of her power, which I can totally see coming up in the next episode. Like, this whole episode, she's just been doing some like procedural like investigation shit. Like, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I do. I kind of think I think she's got the wrong end of the stick. I kind of think, to begin with, at the beginning of the episode, she's like, "You're a witch like me," and then she's like, "Oh, don't you know about the runes and the fact that this witch can only the witch who casts the spell can cast more spells or whatever?" And then she's like, "That's day one of learning."
Yeah. She's like surprised that Wanda's so inept in that sense.
Yeah, and then
so powerful.
By the end of the episode, I think she figures out that, oh wait, no, Wanda literally has no idea what she's doing and is purely acting on emotion or whatever, which makes her a using chaos magic, which is what makes her a Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she's talking about it as if it's some kind of like prophetic, like, this was predicted years ago, like you're some kind of super powerful ultra wizard.
They warned us of your kind.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I wonder if that ties in with, she has like a vision of herself when she's getting her power, and like the Mind Stone does its thing. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, in and of itself, like, that's weird, and like it like dislodged from the scepter.
Yeah, it chose her.
And like all that footage was removed from the CCTV. But then she like sees a silhouette of like how we would traditionally know Scarlet Witch to look. You can see like the tiara and the cape, and like it's all in silhouette. But like it is there's some like element of like destiny to this. Now, like, they're introducing some kind of like, you were the chosen one.
It makes me.
You said you would destroy the Infinity Stone, not bang it.
It makes me really want to see what happened to Pietro in that same situation, because I'm presuming you also
we were
had
both
to
there
walk
like,
in
please
and
show
touch,
Aaron Taylor
touch the staff. So like,
powers?
Did the same thing happen, and maybe they saw more? I don't like.
Was he the Silver Wizard? Has he got super speed wizard powers?
He was the quickest silver.
The second fastest man alive. Does that mean Usain Bolt is quick gold? Oh, fucking no.
You are mediocre at best. Which makes you a scarlet bitch.
I thought you were calling my joke mediocre.
Oh, that too.
That's also true. I'll take it.
They're both facts.
Yes. Yeah, it's just some kind of chosen one thing.
Yeah,
it's quite cool. It'd be interesting to see where this goes in the
I
next
picture it being
episode.
more like she descended from that. So another thing, at the very beginning, you see the head witch, the mother witch, the one that Agatha calls mother, rise from the ground and cast the same spell but more powerful into Agatha.
Oh yes, this.
And we get a sneaky tiara.
To
which I was like, "Ooh, pretty," and Sam was like, "But is that the thing that Scarlet Witch will wear?"
Yeah, they've done a Salt Bay of when you use lots of magic. By the way, I definitely have said this like years prior that they could do this, and it's awesome that they're doing it, right? So there's not going to be any proof anywhere of me ever saying this. But
did you say it on a podcast though?
Maybe.
Did you say
so,
it on a podcast though?
I could still be wrong because they haven't done it yet. But assuming that the Mother Witch was like going full like Super Saiyan like ultra power, the tiara, like the magic sort of, it looks like a tiara to us. I'm wondering if it's just like magic that, it comes from the head because it's from the brain. I don't know. It looks like a tiara.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are we going to see Wanda in the final episode go like full power, and then like red magic will start emanating from her head and it will form the classic Scarlet Witch tiara?
Well, that works in the sense that in this episode, when she goes to visit what I presume was in the process of being built, the house that Wanda and Vision would live in, she falls to the floor, and the reason she creates the black and white west view, it's all coming from her hands and her heart.
Oh yeah.
So maybe the next step up from this like newfound power is the hand, heart, and the head.
And the head. Yeah.
So like we get another step up, one up from this. Like she eats a mushroom and then she gets a tiara.
Well, you've still got the episode up, right? I'm just curious. Did we miss it? Maybe she did. Maybe she had the tiara at the end.
I'm gonna say she definitely didn't.
Yeah, I feel like we would have clocked it.
Just because I was like, oh, for the first time ever, it's coming from her chest, and if it was coming from anywhere else, I would have been like, and there.
Also, pro tip for any weapons manufacturers: if you sell missiles, maybe don't print your like company logo on the side. That's like just weird.
That's how you. Do you want to get enemies? Because that's how you get enemies.
That's how you get enemies. When your shit doesn't work and you don't kill random Sokovian people. That's they're making grudges.
So another thing we predicted, and has now been confirmed by this episode, the footage that Sword, I love saying sword like that, Sword. Because it's spelt dumb. The footage they showed in I think episode 4 or 3 was not what they told us happened, and not what they showed us happened.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Obviously, there's that added line of wait, I've got to buzz you in, and she goes zoom, and she opens the door.
I'll do it. Like, she's a bit pissed off and she opens the door.
She's just like, I am waiting for you.
When we see it in the episode, she just storms in. And then she jumps down and goes to the body, and you don't see what happens next. But no, it turns out Wanda walked away.
Yeah.
And was like very chill.
She was
chill, but
she was very
upset,
chill,
like,
and she, although she did, she broke the glass to get into Vision's operating room, or whatever you want to call it. She's very calm, and she leaves there, and she sort of says goodbye, and she's pissed off about what's happening, but like she's kind of quite understanding in a way. Like she gets it, she knows what's going on.
Also, weird choice to have a lab right next to your office with just a corpse, just right next to your office. That's chill.
I did. So everything Hayward said was incredibly sus. Yeah. And you sort of called that out, and I was like, I kind of agreed, but I think the most sus thing he said was when he was like, but not everyone else has the power to bring them back online. I'm sorry, right. Bring them back to life. I was like,
yeah.
Why would you say that one first? I was
and
just
then like oh, yeah, and he's not actually yours. Like all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's very manipulative.
It's very precise in the language it's using.
Yeah, in that moment, it seemed like he was trying to like subtly get her to bring him back to life, but then she went off and did it by accident anyway. So it kind of, if that was his plan, it worked, but it wasn't seemingly because he said anything. She just sort of did it by accident, it seems.
Yeah,
through sheer like grief.
Yeah, just it was like pure emotion was what caused this new colorful Vision to be born. I'm just watching it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it back, and she did not have the tiara
She did not have the tiara.
when the initial explosion happened. I'm just trying to see what the cinema, because there's obviously that shot of the hex coming past the movie theater. I'm just trying to see like what film was on and what's now on instead.
Are they related? Like,
yeah, like is
was
it like
reinterpreted as a
Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2?
It was A Star Is Born, and then it becomes A Star Is Born.
It is. Put the fun. It's something. Tannhauser Gate. Put the fun in dysfunction. Is the name of the first one, and then for some reason it just shut down. So, give me a minute, and I'll figure out what the other one is. It's very difficult because it's very quick. Oh,
yeah,
fuck. I missed it. How's this for a podcast? You enjoying this, audio listeners? How's it going?
I think that's most everything I wanted to sort of talk about in the episode.
Something kidnapped or something.
Okay, well this is enlightening. Yeah.
I think the next episode is going to begin with Billy and Tommy being ripped out of existence.
Oh my god. Fucking hell.
I think Wanda's going to like surrender somehow to save their lives. And then Agatha's just going to be like, "You really thought these were real?" And then they're going to disappear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it ties into Agatha's like amazement that Wanda conjured up all this stuff. Those kids are probably real. Like they probably exist at this point. And
I mean, yeah, if Vision, if she's created a Vision, I suppose it absolutely could be Wanda's doing.
It's wild.
It was a full on episode. Like I was just like, oh yeah, holy shit!
Some emotion shit in there. Like every single flashback scene was just more emotion piled on emotion. I think I may have said in a previous podcast, hopefully it was in a podcast, that my theory was that Wanda grew up watching American sitcoms, because that was absolutely confirmed by this episode.
Yeah,
it completely explained her approach to
the fact that they had the Dick Van Dyke Show, I Love Lucy, Malcolm in the Middle, all these kind of all the initial influences that you go, oh yeah, it's that, and then like gradually throughout the episode, it's that and other things.
Yeah,
it was that. Like,
yeah,
the 90s episode was Malcolm in the Middle, 100%.
Yeah.
Great show. I genuinely had a good chuckle at the clip of Malcolm in the Middle. Like, I did not expect to be laughing at a show they're showing us a
another show
clip of. But holy crap, it caught me off guard. Excellent.
Oh man,
excellent.
I should be watching that show.
Yeah, where is that? Is that on anything?
Get that on Disney Plus Star right now.
Good.
Imagine
shit.
that was the tie-in. Like Star came in and it was like whilst Wanda
and it's like, here is Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, the Malcolm in the Middle show.
Oh man,
here we go. For some reason, then I said Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, and the Malcolm in the Middle show. It was the Dick Van Dyke show.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh man. Okay, I think that's a good place to end. Unless you have anything else.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, what else happened?
Well, I should tell you now that there's a significant portion of that later half of the podcast where I won't have visual because it stopped again. I'm now recording with a minute left, so I think we should wrap up.
Okay, why not?
Whilst I can still wave goodbye.
Sure. This week's
there
podcast.
was a significant amount of time I was like trying to delete stuff, but there's nothing to delete, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh, madness.
But anyway, 40 seconds remain. Yeah, we'll be back next week for the final episode of WandaVision, for the 50th episode of the LampPod ever.
It'll be a big one. We'll do something to celebrate.
The big 5-0. We celebrated the 18th podcast by getting drunk. We'll celebrate the 50th by doing a midlife crisis something.
We'll film it in a car. In a cool convertible.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Green screen convertible. Anyway, 10 seconds left to go. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave a like and smack subscribe and come back next week for the final episode of WandaVision. Goodbye.
And it's now just Neil. It is Neil alone. Sam has gone.
It disappeared as I was saying. Thank you very much for watching.
Goodbye, everyone.